Hey everybody, we're back for the final video in this screen replacement. So we've gone ahead and installed our screen here. We want to make sure we move over this gold flex tape from our last display. We need to put it onto this new one, so just pull it off the ribbon cable. Let's go ahead and lay it down. Just make sure you get it to as close to possible the way it was on the last display, which is furthest to the left hand corner here, overlapping the very corner of this cable, and then all the way to the right side as well. So we can get it to work out for us. There's a little chip that fits through this little window within the tape here. So see if you can get it to show through just the same as it was. There we go. Now we can take our little piece of foam tape or this front-facing camera sensor and put it back in place. Put its little tape piece down, and then we can put this little foam piece back in its correct spot. See how the little window will line up with the window within the tape as well. This is our earpiece speaker. Now with that done, we can go ahead and start the reassembly process of this phone. Make sure that your ribbon cables are pressed down. All the tape on the back, the blue tape, has been removed and put back in place. We're going to go ahead and start with our logic board. We can go ahead and press this down into its correct slot. Make sure I get it put in there the right way. That'd be helpful. Just make sure all of the ribbon cables are up and not underneath the logic board. Just go ahead and sit right back down where it pulled up from. We can go ahead and start snapping our ribbon cables back in place. The one for the front-facing camera proximity sensor here. The one for our LCD. Just make sure everything's pressed down and fit correctly so these cables line up. And the one for the touch here, make sure that you press the chip back onto its resting spot on top of that metal chip protector. We can then take our battery, make sure it's pressed back nice and flat from when you removed it. Go ahead and put it back in place. Just slide the bottom down in first. Make sure it lines up with the frame and then snap it back into place. Now this cable for the charge port down here is going to line back up on top of the board. Snap it back in place as well. Let's try to make sure everything lines back up. Let me go and reinsert these cables into their guide slots. You may have to use a spudger or something to kind of press them back down and in. Sometimes it can be easier to snap them on first before you press them back into their slots. Now these things can be the trickiest part of this entire repair, putting them back on. So you want to make sure you line them up just perfect and press lightly down on them. You don't need to be aggressive with these. You don't want to bend or break this little shielding of metal. Do the same thing with the black one. Make sure it's back in its guide slot as well. You want these to be nice and deep in there. That way when you put the back plastic frame back on, it won't damage or bend the cable. Go ahead and put in our camera. the rear facing camera. Take our top housing and put it back in place. It'll kind of snap back in as you press it down. It'll kind of clip up here at the top. Go ahead and put all of the screws back in. They want to be nice and snug, but they don't have to overly tighten them down. Work our way around the phone. There are a lot of screws in this top portion, so make sure you put them all back in. Starting ourselves on the left side of the screen. Getting close, there's a couple more to go. Go ahead and clip in our bottom portion here for the charge port. We have a few screws to put in down here. You may want to test the device. You can plug in your charge cable or put the screen on and see if it's going to wake up for you. We had 5 screws to do down here as well. Two next to the charge port. And the one up here by the bottom of the battery. Now that we have that done, we're just going to double check and make sure that it's functioning correctly for us. Test the touch. Make sure the screen looks good, which it does. Now we're just going to go ahead and snap the back cover on. Once that's done, you can go ahead and put in your SIM card. And that is the screen replacement on the LG G Flex. If you found the videos useful, hit the like button. If you have any questions, go ahead and throw them up in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them for you. If you want to see future repair videos, hit that subscribe button. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Thank you.